Hi, good afternoon. My name is Alicia Field, and I'm the Director of Events for the Reston Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to invite you or welcome you to today's Business Success webinar, How to Maintain Wellness, Physical, Mental, and Nutritional when it matters most. So thank you all for joining us so much today. And before we get started, I'd like to quickly recognize our annual sponsors. So I'll share my screen here very shortly so that you can see them. And here we go. Let's see. Thank you, technology. All right, here we go. So here you can see our strategic sponsors, our visionary sponsors, as well as our advocate sponsors. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors who do so much for the Reston Chamber throughout the year. Also, before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping notes here. Please feel free to comment in the chat box. However, if you do have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box that you'll see at the bottom. That way we don't lose any questions in the chat box. Hopefully there'll be a lot of chatter amongst ourselves, but I just want to make sure none of those are lost. So if you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A box at the bottom. We'll save all the questions until the end, and we'll get to as many as soon as possible by the end. One last note too, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on Reston Chamber's YouTube after the fact. So please look at an email from me so that I have a recording of this webinar so you can certainly watch it again, share with any friends who might have missed it, and we'll also have some PowerPoints and resources there as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our esteemed panelists. I'm so pleased today to have Julianne O'Dwyer from Healthy Living with Julianne. She'll be discussing boosting nutrition to keep up your immune system. We also have Erica Phillips from to give advice on mental wellness, and we have Connie Ruiz from Personal 20 Electrofitness to cover physical fitness. So thank you all so much for joining us, and Julianne, take it away. Let's see. It actually looks like we might have lost Julianne here. Apologies for the technical difficulties. So actually, to not keep everyone waiting, Erica, if you'd please resume with your mental wellness presentation.
Okay, great. Give me one moment to share the screen. Okay, welcome everybody. Hopefully you will be able to see the screen well. Okay, welcome and thank you again for joining today. Before I get started, I want to open with a quote, and my hope is that you hold your attention to this quote while engaging in this presentation. So the marvelous truth about mindfulness is that you can start right now, wherever you are and whoever you are. So today I will be discussing mental health and mindfulness and how you can manage this during a crisis. The objectives that I will be talking about is normalizing the emotional impacts of a crisis, understanding mindfulness and mental health, accessing practical coping strategies, and identifying resources. Thank you again for joining us today. Most importantly, for recognizing and thanking yourself for carving out time in your day to prioritize your wellness and to recognize your needs, particularly during such challenging and unprecedented times. During my brief presentation today, I want to focus on some long-term interventions and how you can utilize these strategies, whether there is a crisis happening or not. I will provide you with some beneficial and evidence-based therapeutic tools that will assist you in staying grounded, connected to the present moment, and being mindful in managing your mental health and cognitive process, which is the way that you think. So one of the resources I'm going to use in the background is called Insight Timer. Insight Timer is a free meditation app. And throughout the presentation, I'll be discussing meditation and mindfulness and the benefits of it. prior to concluding today, we will do together a brief 1-minute meditation so that for those who have not had the experience of participating in meditation, you get the opportunity to do so today. And then for those who are used to the practice of meditation, you just get a bonus 1-minute practice. So, and moving on, okay, there goes my slide. Who am I exactly? All right. So my name is Erica Phillips. I'm a mental health professional. I work as a therapist with Best Life Therapeutic Services in Reston, Virginia. We're a small private group practice. I've been practicing in the field of clinical mental health counseling for the past 4 years. I started practicing counseling at a university college counseling center. Prior to that, I spent about 16 years working in the behavioral health, child welfare field as a foster care and adoption social worker for both city government and private agencies. So that is over 20 years collectively in the helping profession, and it requires being very mindful about prioritizing my personal mental health needs and self-care, not only during a crisis, but also year-round. Now, if I place my professional hat to the side, I also wear the hat of being a military wife, a mother of 2 very energetic children, school age, ages 4 and 6, who are now at home that we're homeschooling, like most of the children around our country. So both my husband and I are now trying to adjust to navigating what it looks like working from home while meeting their needs and then meeting the needs of our own work obligations so that we can continue to provide financially for our family. Doing all this while trying not to lose our mind. So by having this been thrown into this major adjustment of life as we know it now. So I say all of this to say is that we are now all living in a new normal, and we have to start first by examining this conversation by normalizing our current circumstances. While every household has different challenges that they might be facing amidst the crisis that look different from you and I, we are all feeling various ripple effects from this global pandemic. During our first communication to our clients at Best Life about how we were moving forward with managing the crisis, one of the points of reference my colleague Latasha Scott shared with our clientele involved the message of being okay with how you were personally feeling about the pandemic. If you had a low level of concern, you're not underreacting. If you have a high level of concern, you're not overreacting. To add to that, I want you to know that today, you have permission to feel exactly how you feel right now in this moment about the ever-changing situation. Just keep in mind our social responsibility to ourselves and to each other to be respectful of the guidelines being instituted by our federal and local government in an effort to keep us all safe. So let's discuss briefly impact. So I believe that it is important for everyone to understand the ripple effect that impact has had on various households and communities. Let's start with socioeconomic impacts. There are households within communities that are not as fortunate who are able to continue working. Our major stressor at home is just working through the adjustment of 24/7 management of parenting, teaching, and working at the same time in the same space. And it has been really hard. And I acknowledge that, and I do not have to feel bad about it. In another household, they may be facing severe financial implications and loss of income. With loss of income, there can be a ripple effect of consequences impacting your mental health. You do not just lose the financial gain of income, you can lose your sense of identity and sense of belonging and your sense of purpose. Understanding that your circumstances are unique to your situation and how it impacts you and your loved ones is also unique. So we need not to judge each other in a game of trying to one-up each other. People are allowed to feel how they want about these impacts. Again, this is the act of normalizing. So some of the benefits of normalizing. The benefits of normalizing your experience in crisis is allowing you to release any expectations you have placed on yourself about how you should be coping. The act of doing this practice will assist in reducing the negative consequences that lend to the symptoms of depression and also anxiety. affording you a mental release. So what about how we are feeling? What am I feeling? If you take some time to break down what you might experience, and thinking about this, what came to mind, a reference for me, is the Kubler-Ross grief cycle, also referred to the 5 stages of grief. For defining purposes, bereavement refers to the state of loss, and grief is the reaction to loss. Experiencing the stages of grief and loss are not exclusive to death. So, what are some of the losses that we can experience due to crisis? Grief and loss in association with the experience of crisis is not limited to death alone. We can have loss of income, loss of sense of identity, etc. Human-to-human interaction due to us having to participate in social and physical distancing, loss of financial security, disruption in lifestyle, and then also loss due to death. So within this context, you may be experiencing some denial, some anger, some depression/shock, bargaining, and perhaps reaching a level of acceptance. The reference of these stages are fluid, meaning they can change and not necessarily happen in order. And one day you can wake up and feel like, hey, you know what? I got this. I'm ready to seize the day. Then the next day you can feel completely depleted and find yourself feeling depressed. So how do we cope? First and foremost, breathe, literally, okay? In anything, you can always count on just going back to your breath, so long as you have air in your lungs. And this takes us into the transition of mindfulness. Understanding mindfulness. Mindfulness has been around for over 2,500 years. In the past decade, has resurfaced in the Western culture and has become wildly popularized. And the term self-care alone could almost be considered a trending topic. However, there's nothing trending about the concept of self-care. What I believe, and also scientific evidence supports, is that there are great cognitive benefits associated with the practice of mindfulness. And I quote, "Mindfulness reminds us to be open to not knowing, to be comfortable with uncertainty." So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness involves a conscious awareness of one's own thoughts, feelings, sensations, and behaviors without evaluation, the formation of an opinion or judgment. It's just being. There's benefits on the psychological health and there's benefits on the physical attributes. The psychological health includes, it's also in conjunction with various mental health treatment modalities, and it also provides higher levels of satisfaction and improved self-esteem. And it can also improve task performance and concentration, which is definitely helpful in the workplace. The benefits on the physical attributes is it decreases the symptoms of stress and depression, and it increases immune functioning and cardiovascular health. So there's all types of benefits to mindfulness. There are also all types of mindfulness practices. Some of these practices can include meditation, relaxed breathing, body scan, mindful eating, tapping into and engaging in your 5 senses, progressive muscle relaxation. A big component of mindfulness is allowing and giving ourselves that permission to be present with what we are experiencing in the moment as it is happening. What happens is it allows us to be more rational in our thoughts and thinking concerning a situation. Excessive preoccupation and worry regarding future events is where anxiety lives and grows, and excessive thinking about past events and their impacts is where depression is going to live and grow. So I want to share this quote. Mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. We want to create a healthy balance within our headspace to stay mindful and cognitively conscious about where our thoughts are leading us and examining how they are serving us. If we are ruminating and focusing on negative thoughts, the result will impact our behavior and decision-making negatively. However, if we choose to reshift that focus to positive psychology, then we are likely to increase positive behavior and decision-making, reducing the likelihood of poor impulse control, typically based on decisions which are rooted in fear, panic, and irrational thinking. Then that's typically resulting in an undesirable outcome. So we have the power to take control of the situation just through our thoughts alone. So then we ask, when should we worry? What are some signs of concern? So some signs of concern could be dips in mood, lack or decrease in motivation, muscle tensions, headaches, insomnia, irritability, restlessness, just to name a few. Of course, these could be signs of concerns for many other things as well. But you also want to remember that psychosomatic stress can induce physical stress. Some of us may experience only a few of these emotions at some point during this crisis, and some of us may experience all of them. This list is not inclusive. Remember, when you resist, it persists. So you will have to deal with it at some point either way. So why not deal with it head on while it's still within the reins of your control, rather than it presenting itself at the most inopportune time? In order to heal, we must first feel. And as mental health providers, we always recommend that our clients touch base with their primary care physician as well, just to follow up to make sure that there's not anything medically going on. So what are some 7 practical mindful coping strategies? And before I jump into this, just jumping back to what I just touched on, also remember your tolerance. Everyone has different tolerance levels, so that's another way that you can kind of gauge and give yourself a personal assessment on when your dips and your mood and your lack of motivation and your irritability might be something that is related to psychosomatic. Okay, so what are some 7 practical mindful coping strategies? I wanted to keep these very simple and something that we all have easy access to. And sometimes when we are in the midst of crisis, our brain is pretty cluttered and overwhelmed and we don't think about it. So you want to listen to music, be mindful of the content. Sorry about that. You want to listen to music, be mindful of content, pick music that resonates with your soul and make a soul playlist. This would be all of your favorite songs that have positive memories attached to them. Aromatherapy, you want to tap into your senses, light a candle and burn incense, turn on a diffuser. Smell resonates with the portion of our brain that elicits a positive response. Aromas affect our emotions and evoke memories, unleash desires, and can help us feel calm, comfortable, and safe. They can also help release anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Then there's meditate. Meditation is so big. There's so many resources available, and that's available in the palm of your hand. And at the end of the slide of my presentation, I have several resources that can be sent out to everyone. I'm running short on time, so I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there. There's going to be several slides that can give you access to helpful mental health websites. I have 2 videos on breathing exercises, some highly recommended mindfulness books, some crisis information, and resources on also how to access mental health therapists as well. So I'm not going to go into depth with the rest of these, but in closing, let me just show you this real quick. You can decide who to be during this crisis. The beautiful thing is that we do have a level of control in all of this, okay? The paradox of control is letting go. Once you choose this, you transition from the zone of fear to learning to growth. So be patient with yourself, with your family, with your children, and remember, one day at a time. You got this, and stay positive and stay encouraged. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Erica, thank you so much for that awesome information. We really appreciate it. Such great information during this time to keep in mind for sure. So with that being said, Julianne has joined us again. So Julianne, please take it away with your nutritional advice to boost the immune system.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Hello, I'm Julianne O'Dwyer. I am a health coach, and the topic today is maintaining wellness when it matters most. My goal today is to give you practical steps to boost your immune system during this coronavirus pandemic. And I really appreciate that you're joining us today. I know that many of you have seen your business revenues decrease and you're losing jobs, your kids are home, you're juggling a lot of things. There's a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. Your finances are of a big concern, of course. So I appreciate your attention and really hope that I can give you some inspiration and practical steps to boost your immune system, improve your health during this very crucial time, and keep your family afloat and overcome this, this terrible pandemic. So this picture that I've included here is extremely significant to me because I overcame seemingly insurmountable obstacles to actually trek in Nepal. You can see me in the red hat there with my Sherpa who's in the yellow shirt. After experiencing a catastrophic crash of my health and my immune system. So like me, you may have to adopt the mindset and lifestyle of an athlete who's pushing through to reach the finish line in order for you to manage and beat this coronavirus pandemic. So today I want to give you some practical tools to empower you to boost your immune system naturally so that you're less vulnerable to flu, virus, cold, illness that come along, and hope that in the meantime you keep your dreams alive because eventually the pandemic will terminate. So the agenda today is to address a couple of root causes of sickness and disease, particularly mindfulness, what you think and feel does affect your health. To maintain cellular balance is extremely important to bolster your immune system and keep you healthy. You have over 70 trillion cells in your body. To drink water, eat a healthy diet, keep your digestive tract healthy, and minimize the impact of electromagnetic frequencies from wireless devices on your body. So when you're in balance at the cellular level, physically, mentally, and emotionally, your health and immune system can be strengthened. So your health is much more dependent on your nutrition, habits, and thoughts than on medicine. And your immune system really is capable of fending off many challenges as you boost your health and takes practical steps to be healthier. So if you don't have a mentor, a spiritual or inspirational guru, a pastor or rabbi, someone that can inspire you, this may be the time to tap into that resource. I've been reading Tony Robbins' books for years, and it really helped me to condition my thinking when I was in life-challenging situations which affected my career. So some of the things that he says are focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. He says it's your decisions and not your conditions that determine your destiny. And he also says that Apple, Disney, Fortune, and Microsoft were all founded during recessions. So how did they find success even when the economy was at its worst? So moving on to your cellular health, what is the one thing that all minor to major health problems have in common? What actually causes us to get sick and stay sick? Unhealthy cells, which are damaged cells. You have over 70 trillion cells, and there are cells behind your eyes, your heart, your thyroid, your brain, your elbows, your knees. Everything is made up of cells. So when one cell is damaged, it multiplies and becomes a group of damaged cells, which leads to illness. But when your cells are actually healthy, it boosts your immune system. And that results in healthy soft tissue, healthy organs, healthy systems, particularly your lungs, heart, and brain are particularly important now that we're in this pandemic. So redox cell signaling technology is a paradigm shift in the scientific and health arena because it promotes cellular health. And it is a new category in health and wellness, and it's 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. For 2 decades, scientists have been studying redox cell signaling technology, including those at NIH, and they concluded that it was impossible to actually enhance cellular health. But the redox cell signaling technology proved them wrong. Very exciting. So the next topic we're going to discuss is how cells actually become damaged in the first place. So this is a cycle whereby environmental stressors and toxins can cause cellular damage, which leads to inflammation, a weak immune system, and illness. A couple of the stressors I'm going to discuss are water, food, your digestive tract, what needs to stay healthy because it represents 70% of your immune system, and mitigating EMFs. The book, You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty, is self-explanatory. Dr. Bhat-Mangelaj, the author, used to approach his patients and say, look, why don't you drink more water, double, quadruple your water intake for the next week or 2 and see if that helps your health conditions. And many times it did. So he has a number of books on his website called watercure.com. And his premise is that you want to drink half your body weight in ounces every day in order to stay hydrated, to minimize inflammation, and to strengthen your immunity. Cornell Medical Center conducted a study called Chronic Dehydration Contributes to Illness and observed that 75% of Americans experience symptoms of chronic dehydration. And this thirst mechanism is weak. So many people mistake it for hunger. So people are eating food when their body is really crying out for more water. Can result in slowing down the metabolism, impacts neurological issues, fuzzy thinking, difficulty focusing. And you can see the list of health challenges. Dehydration is a component of each of these health challenges. Maybe not the significant contributor, but certainly a component. The book, The pH Miracle, explains that as we're alkaline from the inside out in our internal environment, internal milieu in our bodies, it is much more difficult for inflammation, viruses, bacteria, and fungi to grow. The pH scale on the right side of the screen shows the different levels of pH. Your health is governed by pH, your blood, your urine, and saliva. So from 3.0 to 6.0 is acidic, 7.0 is neutral, it's neither alkaline nor acidic, and then alkaline is 8.0 or above. Hydrating with alkaline water is much more effective than drinking bottled, filtered, reverse osmosis, or tap water because it is molecularly restructured by an ionizer unit, and that enables it to be more absorbed by your body. How do I know? It happened to me. So after a couple of weeks of drinking alkaline water, the same amount of alkaline water that I had been drinking in terms of plastic bottled water, I found I was urinating less. Why was I urinating less? Because my body was absorbing the water more effectively. And alkaline water is found at altitude. So when I was hiking in Nepal, the water is alkaline naturally because it hasn't been bombarded by toxins like we have here at sea level. I urge you to refrain from drinking alkaline water in plastic bottles because it has been treated in order to maintain its pH. When the alkaline water first leaves an ionizer, it only stays alkaline for 36 hours or so. Athletes also are experiencing incredible benefits in performance and recovery. 29 of 30 Major League Baseball teams have installed alkaline ionizers in their locker rooms. The next stressor I'm going to discuss is why we need to eat organic food, because food with pesticides weakens the immune system. There have been multiple lawsuits over many years, and a $2 billion verdict was awarded to a husband and wife in California who developed non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer after spraying Monsanto's Roundup weed killer on their property for 30 years. The problem is that it contains glyphosate, and this is extremely harmful to the body. So if you do not eat organic, the probability that your food has been sprayed here in the United States, more so than the European Union, with Monsanto's Roundup is very, very high. The European Union is far more strict in disallowing this kind of farming practices. The American diet is heavily focused on carbohydrates, which contain wheat and gluten, along with dairy and meat, that weakens your immune system and causes inflammation. Approximately 80% of the American diet is focused on the left column here, which is what I just described: meat, sugars, dairy, grain, wheat, coffee, soda, sugar, alcohol, and weed. All of these are acidifying. So if you want to reduce inflammation and boost your immune system and balance your pH, you may want to shift to 80% green alkalizing food. So at the end of each week, you just want to take stock. You may want to keep a food diary. What can you expect? Usually people, when they start drinking alkaline water, eating alkaline food, balancing their cellular health, start to feel improvements in energy, sleep, digestion, immune system, mood, mental focus, fewer aches and pains. So in the next week, I encourage you, each time you eat food, to ask yourself, does this nourish or deplete my immune system? Here are 7 of the most alkaline foods: celery, cucumber, kale, spinach, broccoli, avocado, and pepper. Here is another list of alkaline foods. One of the other things you can do to quickly alkalize your body is to drink fresh green vegetable juice. The next stressor we're going to talk about is the digestive tract, because it represents over 70% of your immune system. Medications, antibiotics, and the stressors I've just mentioned destroy necessary friendly digestive bacteria boosting agents. One of the downsides in washing our hands per CDC guidelines is that it washes away both the unfriendly bacteria and friendly bacteria. So eating fermented foods is a very effective way to repopulate the friendly bacteria in your gut, and this helps shield you against viruses, bacteria, and fungi. A couple fermented foods that you may want to consider: sauerkraut. I eat a couple spoonfuls before breakfast to get my digestive juices going. Kimchi. Seaweed contains iodine, which is very deficient in our soil here in the United States. Pickles and miso are also terrific. The next stressor is the impact of electromagnetic frequencies and the introduction of 5G on your body. They damage cells and weaken your immune system. This gentleman, before he put the cell phone to his ear, you can see that, well, after he put the cell phone to his ear, after 15 minutes of doing that, the inflammation, as indicated in the red and the orange around his ear and forehead, increased dramatically. The problem with putting the cell phone against your ear is that the radiation goes through the ear canal to your brain and has an incredibly negative impact on your health. So I suggest you stop holding the cell phone against your ear and use an EMF-safe headset instead. This woman, Tiffany, was 21 years old when she was featured on the Dr. Oz show because she developed breast cancer as a result of carrying a cell phone tucked in her bra for 4 years every single day. The challenge with EMFs is that it radiates the bodies, particularly where the phone contacts the skin. So is this an aberration, Tiffany's situation? Or do EMFs really harm our health and our immune system, both in the short term and the long term? You can do your research at centerforsaferwireless.com. That is one source. There's a lot of them online. And you can buy EMF shielding devices, such as a headset or a carrier for your phone. In the meantime, what can you do? Create an EMF-free bedroom sanctuary in which you turn off the Wi-Fi at night before going to bed, because it is bathing our bodies in radiation wherever we go, at home, at work, at stores, at restaurants, at your children's school. The radiation is bathing our body and polluting it. The other thing you can do is turn off and remove all wireless devices from your bedroom. The reason this is important is because we need uninterrupted deep sleep to rejuvenate our adrenal glands and our bodies. And if we have a phone on mute, the radiation is ongoing. And particularly now during the coronavirus, we need to give ourselves a rest and rejuvenate. Also, I would recommend you stop using a microwave. So in summary, steps to boost your immune system. We talked about developing healthy habits to enhance your mental focus and emotional well-being by picking a guru, getting some spiritual, emotional, mental support, such as Tony Robbins, your pastor, your rabbi. Repairing, replacing damaged cells with redox signaling technology is absolutely crucial and a first step. It will also enhance the absorption of your supplements. Drink half your body weight in ounces of alkaline water daily, and shift to 80% green alkalizing food. Eat fermented foods that boost the friendly digestive bacteria in your body. Reduce EMFs from wireless devices with an EMF-free bedroom sanctuary. And focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. So I am offering a free 20-minute health and discovery session to all of those who are listening to this particular video. You can contact me at info@vitalhealthylife.com. I also have some resources here. I didn't have time to address essential supplements, which are key to boosting your immune system. So you can find me at Healthy Living with Julianne as my business page on Facebook, or my group page, Healthy Living with Julianne, to find that. And then Impact of Electromagnetic Frequencies on Your Health and Tips to Reduce Exposure is a video. I also have videos on benefits of alkaline water for boosting immunity. And Dr. Troy Sanford conducts a pH demonstration of alkaline water, all on my Facebook page or on my website, which is healthylivingwithjulianne.com. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you continue to boost your immune system, take these practical steps, and know that you can beat this coronavirus, but you need to take practical steps physically, emotionally, and mentally so that you're prepared. I wish the best for you. Happy trails. Thank you.
Appreciate all that great information. You've definitely left us with a lot to think about. So thank you so much for that. Now I'd like to hand it over to Connie Ruiz with Personal 20 Electro Fitness, who's going to give us some great physical fitness information. I think maybe give us some demos as well. Whoops, got you on mute there. Let's see, we've got you muted, Connie, still.
Hello, everyone.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you, Connie.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Yes, we're going to move our bodies. So what I want to share with you are 3 things that we can do to be in control, because we can't control what's happening with the coronavirus, but we can choose our attitude and we can choose how we want to behave during these new times, temporary times. So I love practicing the wellness tips, all the ones that Erica mentioned. I try to be mindful and grateful. I love remembering about breathing, so powerful, in the oxygen. I love everything, and I try to put into best practice that Julianne just shared with us. I'm remembering some more of those alkaline foods I want to include in my diet. I have enough until I can get to the grocery store again in another week or two. We've had our freezer stocked up and it really hasn't been that bad eating at home. And so now exercise, I just want to share with you 3 things. I want to first talk about the benefits of exercise, because exercise really is medicine. I want to then share with you the 3-minute stretch, because we are sitting at our computers, or we might be standing in front of our computers for these Zooms. And then we're going to do the 3-minute workout. You can think of it like taking a pill. Doesn't take 3 seconds, just takes 3 minutes, and that's pretty good. So on the benefits of exercise, exercise really is medicine. Exercise can help us live longer, age well. Longevity is so important, and you can do it well with exercise. The Center of Disease Control will remind us of some statistics, which are these. 71% of the population in America is overweight. And of that 71%, 39.8%, so almost 40% of our population here is obese. So we have a lot of inflamed body systems, and we're being challenged now with the coronavirus. So what can we do? The mindfulness and the eating well, but we can also be exercising, because exercise is proven to give us many benefits I'm going to talk about, and it boosts your immune system. The many benefits of exercise include impacting positively on your metabolic system, your cardiovascular system, your mental wellness, really important. And let's just go specifically into the top 5, or the 5 that I'm the most passionate to share with you, because we can exercise for these benefits and we can take medicine for these benefits. So let's see where we want to find the balance and be in control of what we do. So number 1, feel happier. If we exercise, we are going to feel happier. Can you take a pill to feel happier? Maybe. Can you exercise to feel happier? Yes. The endorphins that happen on a physiological manner with our bodies when we exercise will have you feeling happier. If you're happier, you're going to feel less anxiety, and you're going to have reduced stress. And that comes from exercise. So I am a fitness professional. I've been in the industry and exercising for many years. I'm also a business owner. And did I get caught up with all this stress and the panic and the fear? Yes, I did. Of course I did. Was I exercising? Yes, I was walking every day, getting my fresh air, getting my vitamin D. Was I really exercising? No, I was spending a lot of time there in front of the computer. And I broke away and I did one of our virtual group fitness classes. I was online with my colleagues, because we did launch training for our clients online. And immediately after that 30-minute workout, I was just like, oh yes, I feel happier, because I was missing out on my endorphins. So it happens to us, the fitness professionals, but I guarantee you, do something to exercise, you're going to feel happier. That's number 1. Number 2, with exercise, you build strength, muscles and bones. And we need those muscles and we need those bones for a strong immune system and for aging well and longevity. And here's the good news. It is never too late to start building muscles and bones. There's been studies, there's loads of scientific studies on all the benefits of exercise, but specifically I want to refer to the studies about building muscle mass, because on our bones, bone is actually living tissue. And when you do strength training and the muscles are pulling on the bone, it's increasing bone density. That means you're decreasing your risk of osteoporosis. So it is never too late to start doing a strength training program or any exercise. More muscle, stronger bones. You can take medicine for that, or you can take medicine for your bones. Don't think there's a medicine yet for muscles. gonna have to exercise. Okay, number 3. So we talked about feel happier. We talked about building your strength. Okay, I gotta grab those glasses. I haven't built up my, increase your energy. So you'll realize you're gonna have more energy when you exercise. You're gonna have more energy for the work that you're trying to do during the day. And that energy is, you're gonna feel happier. Yes, you're gonna get stronger, but the energy that you need, there's studies that prove people with chronic fatigue syndrome overcome that with exercise. So exercise is really going to give you that boost in your energy. Some of us probably have energy all the time, but now we're stuck in our homes and all the stress is just depleting some of that energy. So even a nice 5-minute walk out in the sun, you're going to start to feel more energy. And that's what you need to get through this next month that we're home. And as we replan what we'll do after. Reducing your risk of chronic disease. So exercise is proven to reduce all those risks. So it's not exercise alone that reduces your risk for cancer, for diabetes, for osteoporosis. Of course, how you eat and how you take care of your mind helps with all those things. But exercise is proven to reduce those risks. You can take medicine or you can exercise. So do exercise for that. Something very special that happens with exercise, and I guess we think about exercising to lose weight, to weigh less, and yes, get out of your pajamas and put your pants back on every other day and make sure they're not getting too tight. Belly fat. So belly fat is a place where when we gain weight, it's really not good for us, and it's increasing all the risk factors that go with disease. So exercise, pay attention to the belly fat, and that's going to help you to reduce that chronic disease risk. Okay, now here's a really good one, and there's more and more research coming out all the time that prove that exercise gives amazing benefits for the brain and the memory. And who doesn't want to have a healthy brain and improve their memory? We all do. So when we exercise, we get a lot of circulation going, we get blood and we get oxygen to the brain, and that is giving us all those benefits from exercising to have a healthy brain and to have better memory. Actually, there's even studies that say the hippocampus, which is vital to your memory and learning, actually grows in size with exercise. So if you haven't heard yet of the scientific studies about how exercise is improving our brain health and our memory health, you'll definitely want to start Googling that and looking up the research on that. It's fascinating. So you can take medicine for all those things. I didn't mention, I said I was going to mention 5 things, so here's a bonus. Exercise will improve your sleep, and we need to be sleeping better with a sanctuary in our bedrooms with no EMFs. So exercise, because there's plenty of studies that prove people that have sleeping problems like we all have right now, and or they have regular problems with insomnia, they can improve that by up to 65% if they get 150 minutes of daily exercise. What's that? Well, that would be about 30 minutes most days of the week. So do exercise regularly. I'll take a moment now to pause and see if anybody has any questions so far about the benefits of exercise, because then we're going to jump into the 3-minute stretch and the 3-minute workout. So I didn't see any questions go up in the Q&A, and that's great. So now we're going to do the 3-minute stretch. I'm going to show you, and I'd like to invite you to join in. And I do have a towel here, and in case you want to go grab a towel out of your bathroom, a little hand towel, it's going to be great. So the 3 things you want to do when you're stretching. Well, we're going to talk about the neck, and then the tight chest, and then the hip flexors. So what happens is that I'm just going to adjust here a little bit up so you can see. So what's happening is you're sitting in front of your computer, and you're watching Zoom. So if you can lift your computer, if you can have a place with your laptop where you can stand and stretch out your hip flexors, that would be really good. But actually, let's start talking with the neck. I can see I'm getting out of the range of the camera. Let me go here. Okay, so we should just be stretching our neck and relaxing, so we can drop the ear to the shoulder, drop the shoulders down, have the chest proud, and roll your head forward to the other side and get to the other ear on top of the shoulder and roll back again. And let's just loosen up those tight necks. Oh, I'm sure that's feeling good because there's a lot of tension that's building up there. I don't know if you've ever realized it. I catch myself doing it when I'm there and I'm working and I'm answering emails and I'm reading things on the computer. Start to feel those shoulders inch up to those ears. If you catch that, just make sure you drop them back, open up the chest, and relax there in the neck. So that's the first thing. The second thing, as we're sitting in front of our computers, or sitting in front of our TVs watching Netflix, what's happening is these pectoralis muscles here, they're tightening up, they're shortening, and you're kind of hunching over. Or if you're on your cell phone and you're reading the news, you're writing text, and you start looking down, you're putting a lot of tension on that neck. So you want to stretch out your chest. So let's take our hands behind our back and let's stretch. Drop those shoulders, inhale, exhale, and do that again. As you inhale, actually try and get the air all the way down into your diaphragm, and then exhale. We really want to keep breathing as we stretch that chest, stretch the neck, loosen the neck, and that is great. You might be feeling better already. Now there's one other area that's getting really tight because we're sitting too much in front of our computers, and that is the hip flexors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a chair here. I'm going to kick off my slippers. I know we're all in our slippers as we're home. And this here, it's just the hip flexors, these muscles here, they're just getting shorter and shorter because we're sitting all the time. So we need to stretch those. So if you got a towel, you can take a towel, put it around the bottom of your foot, and you're going to lift the back of your foot up towards your glutes, towards your buttock, and you're going to feel a nice stretch here in the front. This is what we call our hip flexors. And then you're going to breathe deep, and when you can, you're going to pull up on the towel and bring the foot up. Now, if you have good flexibility, if you've been stretching, if you've been doing yoga, you can just grab your foot. You want to have a chair near you for some balance. Keep your abs engaged and braced like you got a belt around your waist, and you just make it a notch tighter. So those are some really good stretches, just 3 things you can do in the 3-minute stretch. I suggest while you're working in front of your computer, you have your cell phone and you put your alarm on, and every hour try and get up and do the 3-minute stretch while you have a sip of water, and keep yourselves healthy, as I know we're all working hard virtually. So now we're going to do the 3-minute workout, and I want you all to join me in this too. And look, I'm just in regular clothes because we only need 3 minutes to do this together, but we got to get our heart rates up, and everyone has time for the 3-minute workout. So we're going to start with squats. We're going to work our lower body, and we're going to do some standing ab work, and then we're going to do some standing upper body work. So join me now. My timer is on. The first exercise is we're going to do some squats, okay? If you need a chair for some balance, have a chair. Hold on to that. And ready, let's go. So you are squatting down. You're keeping your knees over the center of your foot. Your feet are placed about the distance of your shoulders. Your chest is proud because you're looking at me after all. And you're sitting your booty back. Now it's not about going fast or slow. You get to choose your speed, but we're doing this for 30 more seconds. So keep going. Now when you stand up, I want you to squeeze your glutes every time that you stand up, okay? And I want you to stand all the way so you get a little bit of that hip flexor stretch because you're standing all the way up. Fast or slow, you choose your speed. And you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second exercise, we're going to work our core. If you don't have balance, use a chair. If you have balance, you're going to take your knee towards your elbow. And we're going to alternate each side. So we're getting some oblique work done, some core work done. Now the really fit people, you could just drop to the floor and do a plank. Just 1 minute of a plank on your knees or on your toes. Or you can just stand up for a minute. Join me, we got 30 seconds left. So we're taking our elbow towards our knee, and we are using our core to bring our leg up. We've got 15 seconds. If you feel yourself losing balance, grab your chair. And it's great exercising in our pajamas or our work clothes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last exercise for the upper body. We're going to do a push-up, but we're going to do it on the wall. If you're super fit and you want to do your 1 minute on the floor, start now. Push-ups are great for your biceps, your triceps, and your chest. Leaning against the wall with your hands wide, and take the chest down to the height of your elbows, and you're pushing up. So you're inclined against the wall. The more inclined you are, the harder it will be. Or you can bring your feet in and have less incline. It's a little easier. You always get to choose your level of fitness. So go down and up. Keep those abs tight and engaged. And we have another 15 seconds of this. So this is a great exercise for your biceps, your triceps, and your chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. So there you go. That was your 3-minute workout. You can take a pill or you can take a 3-minute workout. And that's all I have for you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Connie. Got us moving, got us feeling positive. So thank you so much for that demo. Hopefully everyone followed along and is feeling good.
Hope so.
All right, and thank you also to Julianne and Erica for providing all this important information over the last hour. Before I go into my closing remarks, do any of you panelists have any last remarks or thoughts before we end?
Well, I'd just like to let all the participants know that Personal 20 has a virtual platform called Verdio. We met up with a new startup as well, local here, and we're offering free daily group fitness exercise. So if you want to go beyond the 3-minute workout and have a 30-minute workout, we'd love to have anybody log on with us and help them have a 30-minute workout daily.
Awesome. Thank you, Connie. Erica, did you have some last words?
Yes, I just wanted to let everyone know, I know I didn't get to the end of the last few slides that I had, but I have several resources on mental health and mindfulness. So anyone that is watching, if you would like that information, just drop it and we can get that sent out to you. I have information on mental health websites, some helpful breathing videos, some recommended books and apps, and some also awesome resources on connecting to therapists.
Great, Erica. Thank you, Julianne.
I just want to encourage everybody to take steps, whatever they are, take action, because as action, you're gonna start to see results and you're going to push through, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's a trying time, but I believe that we can get through this, and I believe that we can live our dreams, and I want to encourage everybody to keep your dreams alive. Be well, be safe.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I know we're all getting so much information thrown at us right now, so it's nice to have some positive things, some ways to cope, some great information for how we can try to help ourselves, maintain wellness and all the different factors. So thank you again, ladies, so much. We definitely appreciate it. Lastly, and we've mentioned it several times, but we've been recording this, so you'll receive an email from me shortly with a recording of the webinar, as well as a lot of the resources that the ladies have mentioned here today. And lastly, please check out restonchamber.org. We've got a COVID-19 link right there on the homepage. You'll find the recording of this as well, along with some health resources, some business resources, recording to our past webinars as well, as long as some links to some upcoming webinars. So thank you again all for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And again, be well and stay safe. Thank you so much.